Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm much better now that I've seen your face.
Oh, yes.
I got a little sneak peek of your new campaign, and it looks like you're trying to steal my job with the man on the street and the microphone. How did you get connected with Milk to do such a fun campaign?
I'm just trying to channel you. That's all I'm trying to do. The California Milk Processor Board asked me to partner with them. I was delighted. I mean, obviously everybody knows their iconic campaign and brand Got Milk. And so we decided to work together on a new campaign, Never Doubt What You Love, which is combating all sorts of the misinformation that exists in the world, trying to make you doubt the things that are good and wholesome, and milk being one of those. So we try to convince people that grandmas are bad and puppies are bad, and and beaches, and of course most Californians know the truth. So we had a lot of fun touring around and me talking to a bunch of different people, like you said, on the street.
So much fun. And what would you say if you were to guess? Do you know what the biggest misinformation is when it comes to milk or milk consumption or excuse to not want to drink milk these days?
I don't know. That's the thing with misinformation. It's hard to know exactly where it started or why, but now it's about almond milk and oat milk and what's the other? I don't even know.
Just trying to keep up with the Joneses, maybe, is what's going on.
Exactly. Suddenly this is better, but most the Californians I talked to on the street were not buying that misinformation. But I thought it was such a fun play on, the cancel culture that exists and people getting canceled and things getting canceled we're not exactly sure why, but sometimes we go with it. Yeah. So to play with that idea a little bit was super fun. And at Got Milk on Instagram and Twitter and .com, you can see the results of my conversations with, dozens and dozens of people on the street.
They're so cute. Is it okay if I ask you about your podcast?
Sure.
I've been really enjoying it, and you've got fantasy football thrown into the mix, so you've taken it to the next level. Who is the worst to trade with in your fantasy football group?
Rainn Wilson. Yeah. So we just launched a little teaser. I had a conversation with a guy who was with us, most of the run of the show, Steven Sachs, and he is the commissioner of our office fantasy football league. This is our 17th year coming up, and so we had a good time kind of previewing that. And I think we're going to go back like after the draft. But yeah, Rainn is the worst. Rainn will offer, will be like, I'll trade you this fourth string running back on the Jacksonville Jaguars for Aaron Rodgers. And you're like, what? No. And then he'll like, well, you need a running back. Well, yeah, I need a running back, but then offer me someone that'll actually help me.
Oh my gosh, it's brilliant. And are you excited about your boy Aaron Rodgers? There is a bromance there that no one can deny.
I'm very excited. He seems good and ready to go. So he seems very happy. And look, they were a couple of plays from the Super Bowl last year. I expect if everybody stays healthy, Devontae Adams and the rest of the gang, Randall Cobb back this year, I think Aaron's really happy about that, and as a slot receiver could be very helpful. If they stay healthy, I expect them to be in the same position, a couple of plays from the Super Bowl or from winning the thing this year. So we'll see what happens.
I was distraught he didn't get the Jeopardy host job. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I will admit to you, truthfully, I really enjoy Jeopardy. I really do. I don't watch it regularly. But I watched him. I thought he did a great job. He does. If I'm in Green Bay during the season, he'll watch Jeopardy and he really enjoys it. I don't understand the producer guy. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway. And now I'm reading the other articles, but maybe that's just cancel culture too. I don't know. Who knows? But I wish them the best of luck. And here's the truth. He does have another job that keeps him busy at the moment. So who knows? Maybe when he's done, Mr. Rogers is done with his playing career. Who knows? Maybe they'll revisit it.
And I'm buying anything he's selling. So if it's not Jeopardy, it's QVC for me. Okay, it's QVC.
Okay.
So what I love about The Office is it's something that I could enjoy with my family. And this is also fun to talk to my dad about your podcast too, because I'm like, did you know this? Did you know this?
Right.
But speaking of cancel culture, somebody said not too long ago that The Office couldn't be made today. And I have to disagree, because it has that sweet I Love Lucy kind of innocence to it. Did you have any opinions about that? I know that we're much more sensitive today, but in regards to the humor within The Office, I just always felt like it was so smart, so sometimes above our heads. Sometimes it's the third time I've watched the episode that I get some of the jokes. And I just think that this show could be made today and forever and forever and ever, or am I just biased?
Well, I don't think you're biased. And I think you bring up a really good point that a lot of people don't focus on, because it has the veneer of snarky in a way, like the veneer of meanness maybe, or that there is certainly some cringe comedy involved. But at its fundamental base, this is a group of people that work in a relatively small business that you actually experience a tremendous amount of love. And even between the characters who have differences on the surface, you do see a genuine caring for the other person that I think is lacking in the impersonal big box world that unfortunately exists so much today. So I do think you actually bring up a very good point about that specifically. I also think, the show at, one of its basis of humor was about poking fun at people who potentially were not PC or woke enough in Michael Scott. I think that if The Office were on today, I think that there would be a two-pronged attack. And I think you would still have some comedy or some characters like Michael Scott who kind of doesn't quite get it, is well-intentioned but doesn't quite get it. I also think you may, the stick may be jabbed a little bit at the people who might be a little too woke at this point in time. So I think that there would actually be very fun to take a look at that side of it as well. But who knows? I think given the success, what I always joke, and when people say it wouldn't exist, I was like, well, somebody's making money on the show. So because of that, I'm sure somebody would find a way for it to exist today.
Exactly. Not only that, but I don't know if you know this, but Peacock has an entire channel dedicated to Dateline NBC. And that's my zen. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but that's that's my happy place. And every commercial break, they were promoting new episodes of The Office, like fresh cuts. And I'm like, wow, what must it be like to be you? To be on a show that just is forever iconic, never going away. You are moving people emotionally 24/7, and you don't even know that. Isn't that isn't that kind of an incredible feeling?
It is. I mean, it truly one of, if not the most rewarding and special things, experiences for me, having gone through the show and now having its resurgence or explosion in popularity, is I hear so often from people on the street or elsewhere the amount of comfort that it brings. That the phrase, if it's been said once, it's been said a million times. I go to sleep with it at night. I watch it before I go to bed, that there's some sort of comfort. And in the podcast, I talked to Billie Eilish, who says, essentially the same thing, that, she has it on in the background I don't even watch it. And of course I made jokes like, oh, it's on and you're not even watching it. But it's like, no, it's just, I hear the voices, excuse me. And I know, the story behind it because I've seen it so many times, and it brings me a comfort. And not just that, but servicemen and women overseas who watch the show, people who are going through a specific life crisis or bad medical situation, have to be hospitalized, that they're turning to the show, where I always say, like, we just felt like we were a bunch of idiots trying to, make a television show, but that it has come around for people and made them feel so good is so rewarding. Not just for me, but I can truthfully speak from everybody about that.
I have one last question with you. I wanted to ask, I saw that you were recording an Audible book, or a book for Audible. Can you tell me a little bit about that? And is there gonna be a physical copy too, or just Audible?
Yes. So just announced, hot off of the press pages, Welcome to Dunder Mifflin is being released on October 19th. And it really is the story of this journey of me going back and talking to all the folks who worked on the show, which started with a question, which was, why is this show, that 8 years since we have filmed anything, why is it now the most watched show in television today? Why are new and younger fans finding the show, and people are watching it more than ever? And I go back and look at the key things that played roles in that. So like the casting, the hiring of Greg Daniels to adapt the show, directors, the way the camera works in the show, all of these things that at the time were not being done on network television, and trying to come up with answers as to why people are responding so strongly to the show. So yeah, welcome to Dunder Mifflin. And I recorded the audio book for that over the last few weeks. And so that'll come out at the same time.
Well, congratulations on all your success, and I'm so grateful that you spent your morning with me, and I'm going to go have a big fat glass of milk after this and feel good about it.
Thank you so much, Kinsey. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
You too.